Today we are talking about this combination right here. This is something I think it's vastly underrated, especially because almost all of the owners of the Sony ZV series, the ZV-E10 like this, tends to go towards autofocus lenses. But I wanted to show you something, how you can transform a very cheap camera like the Sony ZV-E10, maybe one of the cheapest Sony cameras with an interchangeable lens, into something like a cinema camera. I owned Blackmagic cameras before I switched entirely to Sony, and on the Blackmagic cameras, these Mikey lenses were some of my favorite lenses. And I thought to myself, why not try and use these lenses on a Sony camera? This is a native Sony E-mount lens that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. I just found this for less than $130 about this, and this camera is about $600 or $500. The price will be right here. So this combination is not a very expensive combination. I know, and money is money, and for some people this is a lot. But if you compare this to cinema cameras out there, this is really, really cheap. And I don't know why you bought the Sony ZV-E10, but I'm guessing since you clicked on this video, you are interested in learning more about making good videos. I'm going to put up some video clips right now while I'm talking that I shot just at my home with this Sony ZV-E10 and with this Mikey lens. This is a 35mm t2.2 lens, and if I were to choose and to buy a new one, I would pick up the 25mm lens. I love that lens instead of the 35mm lens especially as my first lens. And as a used lens, I know a lot of the Mikey lenses. I've had about 4 or 5 of them. This one I have right here is a bit loose on the focus ring compared to all of the other lenses that I've owned. But the way I shot these clips I have on the screen, I went into my settings and I put it something like this, and it is the picture profile 8. And it's 4K at the highest quality, and then I had this gamma display assist set to S-Log 3 so that I could see the colors. See, the picture profile 8 or the 9, depending on your preference, is something called S-Log. When you films, it takes all the colors and makes it more neutral, and it turns down the sharpness of your images, of your quality of your video. And this makes it feels like more like true cinematic instead of having this. Sony tends to be super sharp when it makes videos, and that's good for photos and so on, but when you make videos you want to have more feelings in it, and somehow it feels more better with less sharpening added. So this picture profiles, they reduce the sharpness levels. All you have to do afterwards is that you have to put it into something like DaVinci Resolve, which is free, and then you have to either put on a LUT that you can download all over the internet, or you just have to fiddle around with the S-curve like I do. I don't know anything about color grading per se, but I just put it in there and I tweak it until I found a spot that I really, really like. Other things to remember, if you're filming this in the US and you're not filming slow motion, then you probably want to film this at 24p, and your shutter angle needs to be about 1 divided by 48 or 1 divided by 50. See, I am in the Europe region, so I have this and I need to be at 25p, and my shutter angle is at 1/50th. It does mean that sometimes I need to put on an ND filter like this in order to get it a bit darker when it's light outside. But this ND filter is the cheapest you can find of Amazon. It's like $30 or $40 or something, and I always use the cheapest. I can't really tell the difference, and I am thinking that no one on YouTube can tell the difference as well. Initially I bought this Sony camera to be my top-down camera. Here I have this Sony a66,000 here, which is my oldest Sony camera, and I want the ZV-E10 right here to be my top-down camera on my table. Because I have the A7 IV, which is my main camera to like go around with, to take pictures with, and to film with. But I wanted to show you that you don't need an expensive camera. This is one of the cheapest interchangeable lens cameras from Sony that you can get. But putting on a cinema lens instead of a photography lens does make a difference, in my opinion. Please tell me what you think. Hopefully, I will see you in another video.